on. Woo! I forget how fast it does the little transition thing in this game.
It just go.
It's so fast.
Like 3, 2, and we're in.
Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome to tonight's episode of Age of Intervention: The Hunted, where we have plenty of fun things in store for everyone. Yes.
What the fuck is that?
It's a dog. It's headbanging.
Head banging. That's what it is.
What you think it was?
Well, I have my window very small, and I was like, "Is that a meerkat? What's that?
It's a meerkat. It's
That's
Timon.
from the Lion King. What is that?" And then I opened the window up further, and I was like, "That's a dog."
It's a dog. It's doggies. Yes,
What's the
welcome.
dog doing?
It's good to see everybody once again. I have currently recovered from my plague and have passed it on to others now. So, you know.
Oh wow, Aaron.
No, I'm just kidding. Hey, listen, I can't be blamed if Senna gets sick. It wasn't me. I have not seen him. So, therefore.
Definitely not all the inter-party makeouts we have.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, Zoom calls filled with smooching. That's definitely what we do.
I believe it.
Cross state lines.
You gave me a virus, Aaron. You gave me a virus.
Yep, totally.
Yeah.
All right.
Small cow now.
Don't have a whole lot of announcements. I think this coming Tuesday we'll be doing our first epilogue of Age of Myth, so that should be fun. Doing all sorts of fun little, bow ties on some character stories there, so that'll be exciting. We'll have
Botox.
yes, we're doing
Botox.
We're doing some ancient Greek Botox is what we're doing. I failed to ask. I believe there should be Vampire next Wednesday. I should have double checked, but I forgot. Next Thursday, we'll be back again. And then next Friday, we'll be doing, so far as I know, we'll be doing our next Star Wars session of the month of March. So looking forward to a full week of
Niceties.
stuff here on Knights of Silver Moon. Yeah, niceties. Exactly. Exactly.
Excalibur.
Excalibur. To my right, left, to my right, to my left. This person right over here. We have Ash, the wonderful hunter. Hi, Ash.
Hello. Hunter Ash Wizard.
Hunter Ash Wizard.
Like long walks on the beach.
And then further to the left, the his best student as of right now, with an A-, I think I remember currently.
Yeah, I think I have an A-.
We have Ezra / Chris.
I have dice.
Nice. Beautiful. Down here below to that direction is Dimitri / Galil. Yo. And then further, last but not least, the wonderful, the one and only, the boy, Senna.
Oh boy.
The boy, Senna / Sonder / the eye who peers at you in the night while wearing a green cloak.
/ artificer.
/ artificer.
/ godfather of the child we lost.
Who he
Oh, wow.
Wait. Son of the godmother of the child.
Yes.
God brother of the
The god
person
brother.
we lost.
Yeah, godbrother. There we go. Yeah.
that makes sense. And he recently confirmed he is indeed an idiot. Now I need to clip that scene because you said it was such a matter of fact. He's godson of my mother, and I can confirm he is an idiot. It was so good. All right, and then we're ready to go. Let's get into this bish. Tonight's episode of Age of Intervention. Woo!
The year is 1805, and our world is about to suffer its greatest threat in over 2,000 years. Since the dawn of civilization, our kind has stood vigilant over our mortal brothers and sisters, protecting them from the darkness that hunts and consumes us. For a time, we thought we had pushed that evil away. All that then remained was to watch the stars for when or if it would ever return. We stood too attentive, however, to that abyss beyond, that we did not see the threat that our brethren would become to us. During the collapse and the centuries that followed, we lost much to the cruelty, greed, and prejudice of man. Now, we have taken to the shadows, so that we might still protect our people, even if in doing so we risk being executed for what we are. For there are more of them than there are of us, and we dare not become the monsters that our forefathers became. A true shame that in the midst of all of civilization's triumphs, we would become.
Go.
Great.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I think the plot of that is that secretly Meredith Grey is an eldritch being that cannot die until the hospital is leveled.
That's probably true. Okay. We start. We start.
The story begins.
Where are we? Let's see.
We're in the hospital. Meredith
Yes.
Grey is tending to our wound.
Yes, you are waking up from a horrible nightmare that you were in the 1800s. Esh.
Ezra's just a medical intern, actually.
Oh, you have inspiration, Galil.
Never say I didn't
Oh,
do
God,
anything
from
for
who?
you, ho.
Oh wow.
What a backhanded inspiration.
It's
It's
beautiful.
awesome. Inspiration is meant to be backhanded. Name one time we've got inspiration and a sense of kindness.
Your heart's beating.
Wow.
Pounding, actually.
Yeah, that
I was
actually...
not ready for that. I hate that sound effect. In the headphones, don't ever do that again.
I don't think I processed what I just heard. I blacked out.
The pounding in your head echoes along with the running of your small feet. This is a dream that you've had before and seem to just continue to have now and then. You run through corridors and you feel like you're being chased. No, you know you're being chased. You can hear somewhere in these echoing stone halls the growl that seems to pursue you. You run around a corner, and the momentum kind of carries you close to the other wall. Your hand touches the wall, and it's slick, slippery, like stones in a pond. You keep running, looking over your shoulder. There's that like strange light of. There's this strange light of like a moonlight that kind of hovers over you, and as you look up to try and see the moon, you watch as these large spectral hands come down from this clouded, foggy sky, move sections of the wall to corner and close off a path just as you were about to reach to it, and open up another one. You shift directions once again. Whatever it is that is out there feels like it's constantly just around the corner. And eventually you find yourself in a dead end, and you know that this dead end is it. You turn around and you hear that low rumble once again, and you see just coming into view from around the corner a sinewy, translucent skinned clawed hand that just like reaches down and carves nails into the stone. And then you hear and feel a tap on you, and the dream swirls away, and you hear your now lowering graded student Ezra tell you, Ash, Ash, as they try and wake you from this dream.
If I remember correctly, Dimitri's floating, and I'm concerned.
That's when you decided A-.
Oh God!
I will wake up, adding to what we had ended with.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like a very rough and abrasive casting of prestidigitation, just making certain areas hot, certain areas cold. All the candles are lit, whatever can be lit in the room. Just a little bit wild mix of various things that don't make sense, but are intended to ward, I guess you would say, as a child would.
Mm-hmm.
And
As you get up, it's that same scene that plays out where you get up. Ezra sees the couple of leaves that are in the bed and kind of taps them with the end of their quarterstaff. You turn to them and tell them, "No, don't be so curious. Not now."
Understandable. Anyway, Dimitri's floating, and I'm curious about that.
You look over at Dimitri, and he's not floating, but on the bed. But he's definitely has there's a little bit of a sheen of sweat to his skin.
Okay. Is Dimitri asleep?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I feel like maybe this is an above table comment. There's a little just window. Because I think you can read like good subtlety on like a facial expression. So this is what Ash is feeling. in the past, we'll say 36 hours, from a pretty level kind of fold experience, day to day, pretty monotonous, not a lot going on. In the last 36 hours, many new things have been introduced almost too casually, and they are interacting with one another and giving the kind of geopolitical state of things and how potential, like it's such a powder keg. And so many things are being introduced that will blow up and destroy and displace so many people's lives. Like, it's everything that the fold. I think there's something in the fold that's just like, hey, it might be boring and monotonous, but it's going to get terrible
Yeah.
in a day. Like, it has the potential in a few hours. And I feel like that's what Esh is kind of seeing and realizing the inability to do much about it because there's travel involved, all that sort of stuff. I know I'm rambling a little bit. So Dimitri being introduced is such an interesting wild card of whatever their family history is, what I saw when I detected thoughts. And I'm going to take the opportunity to not wake them up and cast a spell, if I may. Which I have prepared for other reasons, but I feel like this is the best opportunity to do so. I'm going to cast Dream.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Cool.
I'm just going to read it out.
Okay.
You target a creature you know in the same plane, blah, 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 blah. You are a willing creature you touch, so me. Enters a trance state to act as a dream messenger. While in the trance, the messenger is incapacitated, has a speed of 0. If the target is asleep, the messenger appears in the target's dreams and can converse with the target. As long as it remains asleep through the spell's duration, the messenger can also shape the dream's environment, creating landscapes, objects, other images. The messenger can emerge from the trance at any time, ending the spell. The target recalls the dream perfectly upon waking. If the target is awake when you cast the spell, that's not here. You can make the messenger terrifying to the target. I'm not going to do that either. I'm going to go in as not really a messenger if I have to be, and if I have to shape things in a safety protocol, then I will. But it's more so in an observational method. I want to catch Dimitri where, no offense, like Dimitri can't get in the way of Dimitri's experience, where you can't really explain what's happening to you. Like, the language just isn't powerful enough to do so, especially given the state of affairs, being scared, all that sort of stuff. So I'll cast Dream, and I'll inform Ezra of what I'm doing. This is probably something that is such a niche part of a lesson somewhere, but has never, it's so unusual, but I think there is like a protocol for it. So I'm gonna have Ezra kind of post up as like, I'm going to do this. I will die because I won't know what's going on. So please protect me.
You got it, Captain.
All right. Dimitri kind of shifts and moves a little bit in the bed, and you lay down beside him.
Oh, and I think for flavor, I think eventually, like, rising up out of my body is just like an outlined, a very like lavender outlined, almost like minimalist version of a rabbit, like kind of forms off of my chest and walks over to Dimitri's and like settles into nap on top of them. And then just flattens.
Dimitri, in your dream,
I die of a heart attack.
and suddenly he died.
Again.
You had been in this dark, clouded space within the dream. you had heard the voice of Alaric, your younger brother, his pleas for help to your mothers, trying to get them, anyone to help them, and the voice of Solomon as he had tried to soothe and calm your brother. His words of, "It'll be okay. We're not alone. They'll find us." And that hovering presence that had kind of just been behind you, like the sensation of someone standing just past your shoulder, but you can't see them. You know that if you were to reach back, there would be no one there. You know, if you turned around, there would be no one there. But still, it's almost like you can feel the breath on the back of your neck and your shoulder. And then a secondary sensation, a secondary presence on your other shoulder. Esh, you are trying to look in on what he is seeing, right? Or, yeah. So you
I
hear...
think more on like, dreams are blurry, so like how detail oriented I can be.
Yeah. Make a... What should we do with this?
Dream check.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
Investigation.
well, yeah. Investigation. I was even just Arcana 2 would work too.
Am I the only wizard who didn't invest into Arcana?
I don't know.
That
Maybe.
wrong.
I mean, this party.
Dirty 20.
Nice.
Filthy, disgusting 20.
You hear the voice of a young boy in German repeating these words over and over. I would say, even though I guess with your cuff, because you have the cuff of Babel on, I would assume that you probably do understand the words that are being spoken, and you hear Solomon's voice. You don't see anything per se. It's just the sensation of sound. It's like you are sitting in, it's not like you're listening to a conversation. It's like you are sitting in the room and this is happening around you. It's like a full 3D spatial sound. It's like you're sitting, it's almost like the voice is coming from you and to you at the same time. You are both Alaric and Solomon in the speaking and sound and receiving of sound. And you can see Esh, you can see someone or something very similar in shape to Dimitri within this dream space. They're just like floating there, this shadow of slightly lighter gray in a blackened space. And around them, another entity floats. It's not humanoid in shape. It's almost just like a cloud, an upright, almost like cylinder or oval shaped cloud of just like tendrilled black and green. But the greens are so deep foresty green. It's just like you were talking of, like you're in a black space that has just slightly diffused colorations of black that are giving you shape of something that you can see within this dream space. But you know that you have some power here. You can change the way things look.
Yeah, I'm going to... So everything around us is kind of nebulous.
Right.
Can we go back? I think
Yeah.
you cut yourself off. You said that a voice of a German boy was repeating some words.
Mm-hmm.
What were those words?
What I had told Dimitri a minute ago. It was just like, help, please help. Someone help me. You were hearing those things. And then the voice
Okay,
of Solomon comforting and telling them that they weren't by themselves.
Maybe for Dimitri's benefit, I want to. This is probably a bad example. You know when you got like a blurry photo and you just want to sharpen it.
Yeah.
Like I want to empower his recognition of familiarity. Because I don't know his experiences. This
Yeah.
might be, through like oral history or something like that, kind of knowing basics of that sort of thing. And I don't really know, like, I don't want to change anything where it becomes false,
Right.
So this has to be as close to truth as I can, but I can't make the truth. So I will do my best to just kind of sweep.
Okay.
And if I can't, then I can't.
No worries. You're trying to focus the sounds or the visuals, focus the visuals.
If I had to pick, I would
Yeah.
go with interesting. I was gonna say visuals. Yeah, let's go with visuals. I think we got.
Okay.
I'm not gonna trust the sound here.
You enhance. What's
What's the license plate say?
Oh wow.
You enhance the visuals as best as you can, and
It's a license plate.
there are no there were no initial visuals to grab onto, so you instead pull a little bit of ambient sound to try and create an approximation as best you can, right? So there is a level of, you can hear what's like water tapping, and the way it echoes gives this nebulous space walls. It's almost kind of like in a lot of the Daredevil movies and show, where you can see through the sound. It's almost like the echolocation gives a map of the area, and you can hear these sounds. You can hear the sound of you can hear the sound of Alaric in his bed, or this cot, and the creak of it under his weight as he kind of just tries to comfort himself. And then it all starts to kind of piece together this room that the boys find themselves in. And just as Solomon is telling the boy, you'll be okay. We're not alone. You can hear the loud grating sound of the bars of the door open. As it swings wide, and that suffusion of sound maps out the room even more, and definitely gives you the vibe of like a basement or a quintessential dungeon, like somewhere prisony, small, claustrophobic, bare. And then the voice of Dimitri, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? That other form that hovers around Dimitri steps between you and him. And you feel this presence now, this something large and unknown, and then it fizzles out. It just kind of dissipates.
Okay.
And there's just darkness, and there's no more sound. It's just you and Dimitri. Dimitri, you sense the other presence vanish, and then one remains. And you move to turn to it, and there is another person that's here in this dream with you. But you can't see them. It's like seeing them through fogged glass. You just see that there's another individual that's there.
I'm just gonna start yelling out again. Come back and who's there? Just looking around.
Did you say anything,
There-
Ash?
There is a inclination to end the dream on a happy note, right? Like give them some salve, some comfort.
Mm-hmm.
But deep down, Esh knows that I need him sharp. And not to suffuse that pain, because that could be helpful. So I think all that is probably seen in like a periphery kind of way is a little bit different looking rabbit tucking tail and running and just kind of bursting into almost like stars and then nothing. And that's where I'll end the spell.
You end the spell. You see, Dimitri, this spectral rabbit like suddenly dart around from the shadow and then disappear into more shadow as it starbursts outwards, and you suddenly feel like you are falling forward, like tumbling. You can feel the wind rushing past your face, and you wake up with that start of that feeling whenever you're laying down of like suddenly falling for no reason. You kind of just like
Oh God.
jerk yourself awake. But you're awake now.
Wow. Oof.
Esther's just standing there. Bad dream.
Honestly,
Yeah. You look over
I was
and
thinking of something similar, just like
Ash is like right next to you in bed.
Ash and Dimitri are like, and then Esther's standing in the doorway like the I threw up meme. Just
Beautiful.
Oh. I just saw my brother. And your friend.
friend is a strong word.
the idiot. Yeah.
Oh no.
Do you know where they are? Dimitri.
No, they were captured, I believe.
Well, we knew that.
Yeah.
But at least they're together.
Okay. That's
That is
something.
true.
Do you? How did you see them? How did you perceive them?
Honestly, DM, I can't remember most of the dream from last week.
Well, no, because I just described it just now.
I know, but
But I didn't describe it before. So
I know that there are metal bars. I know it was. I
was
want
like
to say like
a-
underground area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It definitely had the feel of like a dungeon or a cell.
Yeah.
It was leaky and wet. There was drips that you could kind of hear in the distance.
They got them to a second location pretty quickly then, which is impressive, but that means it might not have been too far from where they took them. Or they've got some real fast horses. So I'm wondering if maybe we've gone too far.
Well, Hamburg is very big. And if they are in a dungeon, we are not going to see metal bars in plain view for the public.
You also know that Hamburg is a port city, and it is very wet here.
Dimitri, do you have prophetic, divining dreams? Often do you think of something in your slumber and then it comes to pass?
Not usually.
Beautiful,
Is that-
beautiful.
Was that sarcastic or is this a good thing? All right.
Oh boy.
We'll figure that out.
All right. Well, we know that Hamburg seems to be a good place to be, but now what? Ask around where local dungeons are, basements.
Well, there's different ways we can go about this, for sure. We know that the red-coated, canine-like individuals probably know something about this, or at least the organization that hires them out. We know that there is some sort of damp dungeon where they are being held. So we need to see where these circles overlap. Where can we find something that needs to be secure? And where can we find where maybe a no questions asked bit of muscle that is potentially an aberration can be hired out? Put on the layer of this cult. Multiple cults, it seems like, but one is called the Cult. They don't seem to, or at least attract the wealthy. So we could probably go to some place with some influence. Of course, they could do some sort of LLC shell company situation and just hire it out. My first inclination is to go to the port, see about smugglers who do business in some sort of trafficking of people. Orphics, if we're lucky.
Yeah, I think the port. If what you've described as a slimy, wet basement is anything to go by, I think the port's probably our best bet. I don't see why we can't pretend to be interested parties in a more nefarious way to try to gain some trust and leadway. Maybe we offer one of us up as a potential new, so what I'm looking for. Product.
That feels like a very good test. Get some red
I know.
coats.
I'm just thinking of things that I think that you would be. I'm just, I'm trying to get on the wavelength here.
Oh, you're trying to think like me. All right.
Yes.
It's a very good idea. I would not volunteer any of you, including Cinna,
Let's kidnap a child.
to be the one kidnapped, but I can be the one. And through our...
You to be kidnapped?
Yes. And through our resources, I could keep in communication or find my way out. And you can all use your deduction skills and noses to keep track of me.
Right, the nose.
We have nose,
Incredible
we have
how I
technology, and we have parkour, I guess.
Or
Parkour!
Hey, as long as they're not shooting at us, I think we'll be good.
No, you're gonna be shot at. For sure.
Bluff.
For sure. You follow us, you get shot at. Learn how to catch a bullet.
It's not that hard.
Uh-huh. No.
It's like we have the technology. Grabs Dimitri by the nose.
Oh, God. Hey.
All right.
But all of this is, great planning that we're doing while Senna's asleep, for the record, I'm assuming. And I think perhaps best continued in the morning. Yeah,
It's probably about like.
Yeah, I was like, is it
It's
the
like
morning?
9. It's like 9 p.m.
we went to bed in the middle
Oh.
of the day. I more
Yeah.
meant at the end
Early in the day.
of a long rest.
Yeah. It's like 8:30, 9 p.m. somewhere in that range at this point.
I know that you more humanoid types require more sleep than I do, so I say we want to maybe sleep on the rest of this and get back to it once Senna's, conscious.
He's
What
probably
about
got
some
2 more
snacks
hours
or
or something.
something? Some of us have to eat still.
All right.
True.
We don't have a lot of time. We need to get our rest in. But it will be nighttime, which is good. If we go with the plan, where I volunteer as being a kidnapped Orphic, Senna has that tincture, or whatever, to disguise themselves as that very unscrupulous redcoat that we fought earlier, which will give us some sway in the black market underworld. And even if the plan fails, maybe we can get some information on where to go next.
I have a crazy question. Hey, do Dimitri, do you, your brother, and does Solomon, what if you have parents?
What if we have what?
Parents, are you technically orphans?
Yeah, we're all
Well as-
orphans.
Okay, great. Is Sullivan an orphan? I'm just seeing if there's an extra thread here that I could suddenly connect.
Am I awake?
No, you're I would say at this point, because of the amount of conversation, you were asleep, but you can hear them talking.
Okay.
You
So-
wake up to, is Sullivan an orphan?
you just shake him awake. Hey, I got something really important this far away from his face.
Well,
Something
as,
really
as his professor, you would have his file. Does he have parents? Are they kidnapping orphan Orphics? Because that's
Solomon
crazy,
is not an
crazy
orphan.
demographic to choose from.
Solomon's not an orphan. He's not an orphan.
Okay. I just had a thought. You said Orphic, and I was like, that sounds like orphan. And I was like, oh my god, wait, that kid is an orphan. Is Solomon an orphan? Do we have to be orphans to go into the human trafficking ring? Do we have to be
It makes
orphan
it-
Orphics?
Orphan Orphix. Yeah, we need one more
Maybe a
O word in there.
A whole new meaning to 007.
Oh wow.
All right,
Which
so
hasn't, that's not a thing yet.
Dimitri and Ulrich are orphans. Do you know your parents, Dimitri?
I do not.
My parents are dead. That's unrelated, I just wanted to share.
I've been with my family for all of my life, and my 3 mothers were the ones who took care of all of us. Every adoption that we've been through has sent me back.
That's depressing.
Could you write down every orphan that was in your house?
The name of every orphan that was...
As
The
much as you can
orphanage?
remember.
As
Maybe.
much as I can remember.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Um.
wasn't really a lot of them, but yeah, I think I could do that.
Do you mean on a out of curiosity, do you mean ever in the time he had been there, or do you
Yeah.
mean just okay? Beautiful. All right.
I'll get
I
you
remember what I
it
had
in
for
the morning.
breakfast last week.
you can make you start to think back.
They were in a magic house. I don't trust it.
true.
I
true.
mean,
I've seen Annie. I know what goes on in those places.
Musicals.
Galil, Dimitri, yes. Easily enough within, we'll say, like 10, 15 minutes, you have a list of like 20 or 30 kids that you remember over the course of your childhood.
Jesus Christ!
Most of them, except for you and the current 5,
5.
have all found homes. Most of them you never heard from again. But that's not necessarily unexpected. It's
Unless they were all
it-
adopted into the human smuggling ring, and
Yeah.
this has been going on for years.
it is one of those things where I mean, in this day and age, like, people move, and when they move, it's not like we're very used to now a pretty easy, constant realm of communication. But at the time, it's like, if you don't know where someone moved to, they're gone. You're never gonna see them again. Like, and even if you
Parcels, all that. No.
and even if you do know where they moved to, the only way you can communicate is via letter that you have to hope will eventually arrive there, and it could take, depending on where it's at, days, months, years. So
Well, I mean, yeah, think about it this way. Like, Solomon moved one town over, and we haven't heard from him since. So, like, imagine being adopted, like, another country over.
DM, with the information, I'm going to I have this little leather-bound, not very big journal, and I'm going to write down those names, request any information.
To see if they're Orphics.
If they're like Orphic adjacent, if anything just strange has happened around them. Also, a general summary of have lost tabs with our air support. We're in Hamburg. Looking for, or also requesting information on, I don't know how to put it, but like black market dealings where someone might hold various like captives or slaves or trafficked individuals. And I'm going to write that down. And this kind of paper crane is a very good one, is going to fold itself, and then with its beak is going to chew off like where the paper connects to the journal itself, finish folding itself up and fly away with the oh, and that was written with the Emerald Pen, which is like illusory script. So it's my way of kind of covert communication with the nearest priory, which I think is Black Forest.
Black
right
Forest.
now. And hopefully they'll get back to me in a somehow way. I think it differs.
Does this how long does it take for, is this an instantaneous thing?
Honestly, I don't think so. Magic
does it,
sheet of
like-
parchment
Or does the parchment fly?
flies to the recipient whose name you uttered.
Beautiful.
The recipient must be on the same place.
I don't know if this was like the
The most direct route. So yeah,
Yeah.
it has to fly there.
so Lockheed Martin paper airplane out the window. You will say that you open the window, and this late at night, You open the window and toss this paper airplane out, and it catches in the wind, and then immediately begins to sail up and over the house. The Three Stag Inn, which is the place where you're staying currently, is close to the southern side of Hamburg, so it's closer to the harbor. In fact, you can see the tops of the masts of the ships just beyond this current row of houses in front of you. There's just on the other side of basically like 2 streets away, right? You can see that there's all the masts that just like what's it called? No foliage. Foliage. No foliage forest. Oh my gosh. Of these masts on the other side.
They don't believe in tinfoil here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can I interrupt with a question?
Sure.
Are there any sails that are known to be discreet, we'll say precious cargo? Like in previous kind of Orphic busting operations and missions that happened to be near a port or a harbor, something that involved a ship. Is there any sort of like correlation of those sales, like something that is advertising their black market goods?
Oh, not that you can see off the top. Not that you see. That is something that you would probably be aware of. But nothing. There are no currently. That looks like all the ships are in for the night. Because the tide is the tide in at night, right? And it like goes out in
Asking
the morning.
the wrong group of individuals.
Yes, because the moon
The
is out and it makes the tide rise.
Right. Okay. So
Oh, okay.
the tide goes out in the morning, so all the ships would be in for the night, but they will leave early morning, generally. But you don't see any. So you don't see any masts that are currently like sails that are currently out. Just the masts and the sails tied up. Okay. You know that you probably will need another like 2 hours or so before it is a full long rest. You have sent the message. You hope to receive that soon, or some sort of reply soon.
We just get a response that's, "What do you mean you lost an airship?"
That's it. The whole reply. 5-hour round trip. Yeah, because the Black Forest Priory is quite some distance away. But we'll say that this is a very fast airplane, so it's fine.
Okay.
Did you send this note to just in care of Black Forest Priory, or was it someone specific?
I would definitely say someone specific who is, in like a cop show, like a procedural. There's like the tech guy that will bend rules for you.
Yes.
And is probably really underpaid at that job. I'm gonna send it to that guy.
I'd like to send it to the Orphic equivalent of Penelope Garcia, please.
Yeah, avoiding the most red tape I can.
You know of the Black Forest Priory, there is one of the council members that you are very well familiar with is there.
Okay.
There is, you also know of the head of Sears. And then there is a...
Love their catalog.
That's where they went.
Yeah, huh?
Where they started.
That's where they
Victorian times.
There is also an Orclus that is kind of in charge of member training and is and someone that you know there.
I'm gonna say head of Sears.
Head of Sears, Orclus Dominic. Okay. It's really he. So okay.
Dominic.
Yeah. Domenic.
Dominic the ducky. Yeehaw,
He well, yeah, we'll just leave that at that for now. But that way I
Eddie
know.
Lampert. the owner of Sears.
Oh, beautiful research, always done on this channel. We do-
I had to know who the actual chief executive of Sears was.
Yeah, no, of course, of course. Okay, so you got about 2 more hours of sleep. You guys settle back in for the night,
Yeah, just kind of rest.
just to get a rest.
I
Everything.
continue chilling as I've already got my sleep for the night. I'm just here to make sure everyone keeps breathing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I think you and Senna had been working on trying to crack the seal,
Yeah.
the code.
Yeah, and I only needed 4 hours of sleep.
The
so I
anagram.
did an
Yeah, the
Yeah.
anagram. So you basically have what looks like a Sudoku page going, but it's just like possible, variations of these things. And then once you've pretty sure that you have reached max potential of all of the all possible directions that you could write anything in this, you start to cross-reference them to put together. Basically, you're like, it's almost like a word search, because you're like, all right, this is this one, this is this one, this is this one. Senna had given you a list of like common runic translations for Arcanum. We'll just call it Arcanum for now. And so you're just kind of like, this kind of matches, this kind of matches, and you just continue about your work. Eventually, you guys awaken, and it is now about 10 o'clock.
Dude, our sleep schedules are fucked right now.
For real.
But you know what? That's how it be sometimes. Okay. You guys take a long rest.
Thank
Fuck
you.
yeah, we did it!
Yay.
You can
Take a long
remove
rest.
that. You can remove that level of exhaustion.
Thank you. I'm going to approach Cinna.
Yep.
Cinna, how goes the puzzle, my friend?
We have every combination
There's
that could work.
There's like about 15 pages of of different symbols that just like all the way from top to bottom.
The next step would be
It's just like, if you handed me the human alphabet right now, I don't think I'd be able to tell what it is anymore.
And because as you wake up, Senna, you can like kind of look over what Ezra has been doing overnight. Go ahead and make a intelligence. We'll say investigation. That's fine.
okay. Right.
You're intelligence based, right?
He is, yeah.
With advantage? Because they were helped?
Yep. Sure.
Okay, let's see.
I rolled
believe
a
in you.
47.
Wow.
The 147.
Yeah, no. That is a thing in Kingmaker. You can roll like 40s, and it's brilliant every time.
I was going to say, Galil can roll a 47.
Yeah.
I think this last Kingmaker
is
session, at one point
ridiculous.
I rolled a 39,
That
and I felt
is
like a god.
I know.
That is
Hide
a
in plain
20.
20 total. Nice.
Yeah, 20 total. 30.
Yeah, cool.
Filthy.
Filthy 20.
Oh, you little filthy 20.
You filthy 20, you. You look at Ezra's notes, and your eyes start scanning, and it's like so many of these word combinations is like when you play not Scrabble or What Words with Friends, and you know how you just kind of throw letters together and try and make words out of it. 15 pages of just nonsensical runic words that most of them don't make sense. Isher's a word, right?
At some point, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is used. You're like, well, that's definitely not a word. And I'm like,
Yeah.
give it a couple years.
Sorry, I got hippopotamonstro.
Something possessed me. It was the spirit of a musical theater nerd.
You
goblins.
see 5 words that are clear. 5 runic instances that it could be.
Okay. Power, dominance, unity, awaiting, fear.
For a minute, thought it was going to turn into a song, and I got real lit about that. He just goes, it's about drive. It's about power.
I was expecting like Daft Punk to start.
The beat, you say the 5 words and the beat drops, and we're like, what the fuck?
So, power, dominance, awaiting, unity, and fear. Not great.
I couldn't even begin to tell you what we can do with those 5 words. I don't know where I am right now.
Good job,
Exactly.
Ezra.
Sinner, you've been in the fold for a good amount of time. You have rubbed shoulders with all of the smarts and the brains and the paranoid. What do you get out of these 5 words?
It was a long, long time ago. But these 5 words have been symbols of the darkness continually. Fear especially. And unity, but not the good kind.
What's the bad kind of unity?
You
That
ever
kind
seen
of
a
unity.
You ever seen a war?
Yeah.
Probably.
You've seen some.
see-
Probably.
You know soldiers that you don't like and how they're all dressed the same.
Oh, you mean like those 2 assholes that were wearing the ugly, stupid jackets?
Yeah, like that.
Oh, okay.
So
The redcoats one would say.
Fear, for fear's sake, under a banner of fear, and deriving power from that, dominating power, not of the people, tyrannical. Fear as a means to rule. You and I both know it's not just about scaring the people, it's about fear manifest.
Mhm.
That is very different. We have a plan that is not good, but it is fast.
Senna's like, what plan?
Then it's like, what's this weed shit? What do you mean?
Dimitri had a dream,
Okay.
and I believe there's something to it. We believe Ulrich and Solomon are in some sort of wet dungeon, we believe by the port here in Hamburg, because it is near our faved Lord Decken. So I am going to disguise myself as a wayward orphan orchid. Orchid? Orchid?
A wayward orphan orchid, and he just turns into a flower.
Honestly, there's something there. And you can use that potion that you have, whatever it is, in your amazing alchemical smarts to look like the usurping serpent. redcoat that we fought and killed as a way to get into this black market. And the other two will back you up. And I will do my best to stay in communication and hopefully get near the other two, and we will break them out. I have sent word to the Priory. They should be back with some sort of black crow piece of parchment. I'm sure it will arrive in the inn when we are not here, but, magic may save us. However, they may be more interested in the air support, so it could be a moment longer. However, we do not have that, so if you have a better idea, please tell us now. But I'm ready to bust some walls and some balls.
I believe in this group's capabilities.
As do I.
Oh,
Dimitri? Do you feel
Yeah.
like lying some more?
If it helps me reach my brother, then by all means.
All right, let me see a mean face. Why are you smiling?
oh God, he's chosen Mean Girl from a high school movie.
The most devastating choice. They will remember that moment for 25 years.
Does she even go here?
It will erode
No,
their
I'm from
self-worth.
London.
All right,
no.
we have a plan. I need a cover story. My name is...
My name
Inigo
is.
Montoya.
Ah.
No. I was ready for it. I was about to say Timothy, but then I knew Chalamet was like coming right there.
Ah!
Second Dune reference for the night.
I don't think they heard the first
That's
one.
true. That's true. That's true.
Does
First Dune
Ulrich have a last name?
We all just go by Crone, usually.
Perfect.
What about Solomon?
But
Does he have a last name? Or do you not want to be associated with him in any way, shape, or form?
I mean,
No, he wasn't supposed to be there. Right? So if I pretend to be a crone and they're very interested in Ulrich as a crone,
Linkage.
then maybe they can make those sort of like, oh, we're going to get a better price on this deal. Get another one of these. So I will be Timothy Crone.
I love it.
And Ulrich is or Solomon was
Ulrich.
redhead.
Mm-hmm.
Are they both redheads?
It'd be hilarious if I said yes, but no.
Uh,
They're just after redheads. That's a very unique gene.
Okay. Okay, I've
Well,
seen
like,
Ulrich
gingers don't have
because...
souls, so you know
Perfect.
you can do whatever you want with the body.
I'm going to disguise myself as someone who could be related to Ulrich, like genetically.
Okay, all right, yeah, beautiful.
Maybe a little younger.
Alaric is 13.
Okay, I'll go for like 11.
Okay. You are one fucking tall 11-year-old.
All right,
If
it
I
doesn't
saw
really.
a 6' something 11-year-old, I would shit my pants.
That's true. Like this guy self doesn't really mess with.
I think it is a couple inches shorter, but it doesn't do.
I'm like an illusion wizard.
I think.
You give me this one?
I think you could go. Why don't you could go for older brother?
You also
Yeah, we'll have to-
So Orphics are maybe you're Goliath. So.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Joom. As a teacher, even the shorter ones are terrifying.
Listen, us short people have a lot of rage in us.
Mhm.
Okay,
That's
and a
true.
child has an insurmountable amount of untapped rage. Imagine a small child I was a murderer. I killed 17 people.
Okay, I'll go for
I wanted
like
in 3 states.
a 17-year-old child.
Okay.
I'll use the last name Crone, and that's kind of up to them if that is like a boon or just
Okay.
a coincidence.
So are you basically like, all right, let me see if I understand what the plan is here. Senna, Ezra, and Dimitri are going to attempt to sell you on the black market as
If we can find it.
if you can find it, as a special young man with talent, basically.
Yeah. And
Because Orphic's not necessarily a term that
right.
most people would know, regardless.
Through the journals that we procured, I think there are a couple mentions of words that I had in my notes that you had mentioned. You know, just kind of like, I think weapon was just a big one. But probably like blood, you know, some sort of blood-based weapon, that sort of thing. But while I'm disguised, I will not be as helpful to like the investigation of the
Right.
port.
Right. Okay. And you guys saw the map that I sent in the Discord, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I shall pull her up
Pull
now.
up now.
Map. On the map.
And for those of you in
I'm up to this.
the
I might-
chat, I'm also gonna put this map in campaign art, just so that you guys have an idea of the city of Hamburg. Wait, hold on. Let me see. This is going to have. Okay.
Question then becomes, do we look around just as ourselves, and if we get a lead, then we all disguise ourselves then nearby and then approach the interested parties? Or do you just want to approach the port in disguise?
My disguise only lasts 1 hour before it morphs back into my form. So I think.
All right, so investigate first.
Yeah.
All right.
I will let y'all know if it, since we are going to be near water, we might be, my nose might be out of commission from all the fish around.
Okay. It's good to know.
It might be a little bit overpowering.
I thought you were going to tell us you can't swim, which would have been a separately a fucking nightmare issue.
I'm going to disguise myself. Is there somebody from like the party or the kind of parade that is like adjacent of powerful people? Maybe not specifically, but like a face, you know, just like if anybody were to kind of know who's in the circle, they would recognize said person, but isn't powerful. They're just like, they're kind of skeevy. They're like a Peter Pettigrew situation, you know?
Fucking wormtail.
Little finger.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not that I can think of. Not that would be like commonly known. But I mean, here's the thing is like the trade of powered individuals is a new concept, as in the last 36 hours. This is not something that is like this is not something that like is a common occurrence. Now, there are always those who claim power and sometimes actually have it. But they normally don't. They're normally the ones who start shit. They're less so the ones who get captured and are sold. This is one of the first kind of situations where this seems to be someone who is a lot of, I mean, I guess you could say that there are like the whole witch hunt sort of situations where there are those that are like, oh, this person's a witch, but they normally don't sell those people. They normally execute them.
Oh wow.
Immediately picture that TikTok where the woman just like knocks her knees together, goes,
I just used that today. It was amazing.
good.
That gif, yeah.
Okay.
So there's
yeah.
a lot of new ground to be covered with this, less so,
Sure. Well, the best we can go from is knowing that there is a wet dungeon, and maybe we'll get like whispers or anything. So any information is kind of a success.
Oh, definitely.
So just kind of speaking frankly, I want to disguise myself as just, obviously not a circus person, but this is kind of like a normal everyday thing for me, so I don't get recognized by certain people.
Right.
I do want to swing by, like across the street from Lord Deccan's house, and just kind of speaking
We got
frankly
Agate.
here.
Yeah.
I'm going to cast Arcane Eye, which can give me visual information for an hour.
Beautiful.
So just in case some of the redcoats leave or Lord Deccan leaves.
I will say that to get to the harbor, so if you look at the map, down by, hold on, let me open this up a little bigger so that I can see myself. So you're at the red dot, right? And then you would go down to where that red X is. The red X kind of signifying then where Lord Deccan's house would be. The harbor is basically where 10 kind of goes all the way across and out into the sea. Now, what I'll probably do tomorrow is I'll like try and colorize it a little bit better, so it's a little easier to like determine where things are. But just below X, that red X, there's a 10, right? That
Okay.
Oh, I see
those are, that's like the harbor where all of the ships would like dock.
Okay,
in
great.
on.
Yeah. It's on the way.
There is also a secondary harbor.
I don't mean to be anal or anything, but when you colorize it, can you also like darken the font?
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. 11 over by where the circle is, you'll see that there's a channel of water that goes all the way up to the what's called the Ulster Sea. There, in that area, is also another kind of dock, and it's a little for the more of the smaller ships, less so like the large cargo ships. But that channel that goes all the way up that direction has a ton of smaller like fishing vessels as well. So harbor wise, there are big ones that are going to be carrying things in and out of the city are going to be in that 10 area. Smaller ships are going to be more deeper into the city itself.
Okay.
But you should not have a problem then what's it called? Kind of determining which section you're wanting to go to, but 10 seems like it would be the seedier place just because that's where import export happens versus fishing vessels that come in, right?
Yeah.
So
I realize I'm going to disguise myself as like a kind of classic grizzled fisherman kind of thing who recently came into new money, like what they would spend money on, which probably doesn't really make like maybe like has a new hat, or like
New
New boot goofing.
like a gold pocket watch, but it's on like on a weird flannel, Like things are a little mismatched, but it's somebody that recently discovered a new source of income.
Yep.
beautiful.
A pipe?
Oh, for sure, that's a good one. Like a really like elegantly carved pipe.
All of a
Like
sudden,
it's
imagine
obnoxious. Like he
it's like
wants
the-
his friends
the
to know.
The Gandalf one is just like way out here.
Hey, one of my friends
piper.
has that. It
He comes
actually
out-
works.
He comes out, we're like, is that a pipe or a didgeridoo? The fuck did you hit that?
Probably has a flask. That's just he somebody who uses a flask in a bar just to show it off. Just like that's, that kind of guy.
Ah. You look like
Alright.
a right proper prick.
Have you seen my
Ew.
ship? It's
No.
called the didgeridoo.
I haven't seen the ship. It's part of the thing we're searching for. The fucking airship. Where did it go?
Beautiful.
That hurts my voice. I can't do that.
No, you must stay in character the whole time.
Hey.
In our Scum and Villainy game, we made an NPC. Was a joke about Bill Clinton. I forget how. Called Bill Clinton, and he had a cigar that was so long it was always out of frame.
That's great.
My fellow Americans. Okay, let's.
You're gonna head out, and you're going to swing down the street of Lord Deccan's house.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm putting an arcane eye that looks like only to me, like a serpent eye, almost as like spray paint on a brick wall kind of thing, but it can kind of like 3D itself, like it kind of
Beautiful.
Goes back.
As you go down the stairs out of the inn, the little old lady that's there is like, "Oh, are you all going out for the evening?"
Aye.
Great. Well, be careful out there. It's going to get a little chilly. There's a fog rolling in, so just be safe. I'll keep the door unlocked for you, just in case you get back late.
Are these muffins free?
No, no, but you can take one.
Aye, thank you, lass. It's just like nothing got in his mouth. It's just like weird crumbs.
You like cheese grated it into your beard. That's how you eat, like a whale with plankton. Just
Lord.
into the grill.
I don't call a flavor saver for nothing.
No.
Oh no.
I hate that. Okay, beautiful.
Good,
All
me too.
We're on the same page.
Terrible visual we just created.
Yeah.
So fast.
It's so fast. It's amazing.
Never again.
You
Never say that to me and my son again.
you go outside.
Me and my son.
And are in as you are walking down that direction. It does indeed feel cool and cold, as a port town kind of does on the edges of the water. And as you as you are going about, there's a little bit of foot traffic out and about as people are finishing dinner or going out to the bars, especially on this part of town so close to the harbor. Turning down the street of Lord Deccan's house, you see that the carriage is no longer there in front.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the houses along this street have lights on as people are settling in for the night before they go to bed. There's a couple of them that are already off. Lord Deccan's house is completely dark.
Forgetting we're on like vampire schedule, and I'm like, what? And then I remember it's the middle of the fucking night.
Yeah, it's like 10:30 or so by now.
All right, we have a decision to make. We can keep going to the dock. Chance our luck. We can try to follow the carriage, but we could get caught doing that. To the docks, to the carriage.
Well, the carriage is gone.
Well, I mean,
carriage
like
is
try
gone.
to follow.
Oh, try and track it down. Gotcha.
I mean, I'm quite good at being sneaky and sneaking about. I have pretty high confidence in my ability to not be found out. I could, if anything, I could at least pop my head into a window sneakily and see if he's actually there. Maybe he just went to bed early, you know?
All right. What would you do if you found it?
Oh, I wouldn't let that happen.
Wait, if you found him?
Oh, if I found him, I thought I heard
Yeah.
if he found you, and I'm like,
No, no.
simple. I wouldn't
No.
allow that.
I
if
wouldn't
he's
allow
up-
me to find him. I'll
That's
close my
what I'm
eyes.
Like if he's home, you mean, and like that's it? Like what? In what regard?
Yeah, like if he's there.
And he's just having like a bedtime read, maybe taking a shite. I think I just I think that means that we head to the docks and we're good here.
That's true. And we can't really follow a carriage. I forget we're in the middle of town where there's a lot of carriages and it'd be hard to find.
Yeah.
Maybe we just keep a lookout, especially
Yeah.
in the docks, see where they're parked.
Yeah, see if we see a specific car at the docks. I don't see
think-
the need to go hunting for this man's if he's not even involved. Maybe he's just early to bed. Maybe he's just boring.
Yeah, I'll go with boring. And I'll like, as I'm saying this, I'm, casting the arcane eye, kind of using we're not trying to be sneaky, we're just having like a boisterous conversation kind of thing.
No, there's not a lot of people on this particular street. You can hear like the next street over is like right by one of the channels, so you can hear there's like more people over there by like taverns and bars and such.
If anybody looks at me, I'll just, like bark at them, just like, have you seen them in the sea?
Beautiful.
I thought you meant like legitimately, and I was like, I've met that
No,
homeless
for-
man on the
for
streets
sure.
here. Like
For
he's just
sure.
doing some like Tai Chi, and you look at him and he goes, "Arr, arr, arr, arr," and you're like, okay, I just want a coffee.
Amazing.
Okay, to the docks.
Okay. Oh, you're not gonna sneak in the house?
Nah. If
We're
we see
just-
the if we
yeah.
see the carriage, then we got extra lucky.
Okay. You go around the corner and down the street and you start to peruse the harbor. Are you just visually scanning about to see what you can find first, or are you gonna start like asking questions?
This
Well, we
becomes,
wanted
yeah.
to see if there was like something that like we know is like a symbol of human like
Yeah.
maybe like an
Almost like-
Orphic related symbol.
Like a thieves' can't
Yeah.
symbol
Yeah,
on
yeah.
on walls.
Well, I mean, we have those letters from Lord Deccan. Was there any sort of symbol on there that we could maybe try to find a match? Like anything that the letters were signed or sealed with to initiate, like to symbolize the cult, if I'm making sense.
Yeah.
I am
Okay.
proficient in thieves' can't.
Interesting. Okay.
Nice.
I would say to both, go ahead and make a investigation or perception check as you are kind of looking around with advantage for Galil if you're looking for like nefarious things.
Yeah, this first room sucked.
I rolled a
Um,
17 investigation.
Okay. Senna.
That's going to be a 19.
Nice. Ash.
Oh, are we all looking?
Yeah. They're all kind of keeping an eye out.
22.
Beautiful.
I have such a high investigation, and this entire time I haven't rolled above a 10.
Which is crazy because you've only got one eye right now with that eye patch on.
Full of mucus.
No. Dimitri, as you're looking around for some sort of symbol or assemblage or sign or scratch on the
19, by the
wall-
way.
19, nice. As you're looking for one of these things, something to kind of give yourself an idea of where or what you could find. You don't see anything that looks nefarious per se. There's definitely your fair share of seedy looking individuals that are like sitting at a bar, tavern, open air tavern kind of thing, and like will stare you forward down as you guys walk by, but nothing that says, buy live humans here kind of situation.
I like humans.
for Senna and Ezra, you guys have been studying the stamp that Lord Decken used, and you're kind of looking for any sort of symbolage that might have that. And then Ezra, you're trying to keep an eye. You study people pretty well. And like I said, you do see a couple of those shady tables where you can see that they're definitely like, these guys probably have a fair share in some sort of smuggling or another. Senna
But is it you?
Senna and Ezra.
Yeah.
With those rolls, there is a ship at the edges of the dock that has faded, like a faded crest below its name, the Batavia. Batavia, the Batavia.
Stupid name.
The
The pen's not working.
the crest itself looks similar to the seal. Not an exact match, but it has some similarities enough to where you're like, this upper left section looks the exact same as the runic symbols that are on the crest. It's just like other parts that are different. Almost like a piece of a puzzle, right? It's like a piece of that that stamp. Ezra, no, sorry, not Ezra. Esh and Dimitri. You see two red cloaks.
Kill him! It's on sight! Let's go!
They're probably about 150, 200 feet away, and they're walking in through the crowd.
Damn, we have some good eyesight.
You're
Red's
know
very
what you're.
distinct
You
colour.
know what you're. It's a very
That's
distinct
fair.
color, and very, very much like the. This is not Great Britain bright red. This is that blood red, and it's like
an arrogant color.
It's a very arrogant. It's very much. It stands out amongst all the other like dark colors and beiges and blues and such. But it stands out enough that it catches your eye. Plus, this has just kind of been you're especially because you're looking for something. You're trying to find any little clue that you can find. But you see that there are two red cloaks that are about 150 feet or so in front of you, in front of the crowd. Their backs are to you. They're walking together, and then they turn down an alleyway.
I think we should follow them.
Now we've got
Alright.
two options here. We can follow the redcoats, and we found a ship that we think might be useful,
Should we split up?
related.
Should we split up?
I mean,
The age-old question.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it is a good option. If I don't
Well-
think meta about it.
I think, in all honesty, I think if we go 2 and 2, we can cover more ground. Time is of the essence if they're going to be shipping our friends off across the water. Plus, we've got a way to communicate with the spies' murmur. Right? Is that the
Mhm.
is that?
Yep.
Yeah.
And if not, we just meet up later on back at the hotel.
Exactly. As long as someone stays with him, we can all stay in contact because Dimitri doesn't have a spice murmur.
I'm going to keep an eye on them, by the way.
You saw the alley that they dipped into.
All right. I will go to the ship if I can unlock something, and I can be in and out pretty easily. Ezra, do you want to follow the redcoats? Just because you're so fast, or would you prefer the ship?
I'll follow the redcoats. We fought people I assume like them before, and I think I can handle myself pretty well.
All right.
And I'm quite sneaky, so I don't think they'll even notice I'm following them.
Yeah,
I
do
can
not
distract
aggress.
them while she takes them out.
Exactly.
Please, constant updates. If you don't talk to me, I'm going to assume something's wrong.
Got it. I am using my left foot to step forward, and my right foot, and my left foot.
I'll follow them, and I'll try and as soon as we get to the alley, try and maintain that scent from them.
I'm
Well,
going.
try to determine which one's them.
Let me cast a spell.
Senna, what are you doing?
I'm gonna quickly go to the bathroom.
No, you're
I love
good.
the idea that
This is a
we're
good
sending
time.
the two real Orphics on the ship, the two baby Orphics after the possible human traffickers. I think that's a good, that's a good choice. And I have no regrets about it.
None whatsoever. This will be a good spot. We can go on break real quick, and we'll be right back with continuation. Yeah.
My Chipotle arrived.
Raid Shadow Legends, brought to you by Chipotle.
Yeah. This episode of The Hunted is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
Maybe so good at that.
I did a D&D game once. This mic is garbage. Where I pretended my character worked at a McDonald's the whole session, and then I just did the whole session like this. My character was a mechanic, but I was in the brig of the ship, like fixing something, and the communications hub had been like knocked off because we were in the middle of combat, in space combat, and so they were like, "How is it going down there?"
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay.
Shadow Raid Legends.
Let's do
Is
this.
that a reference to the thing that I don't remember saying?
This chatter is brought to you by Mountain Dew High and Cheeto Dust Fingers. Beautiful.
This is brought to you by Coca-Cola and Chipotle soft tacos.
Okay. Senna, Esh,
Uh-huh.
you are going to kind of move your way through the crowd, and you see this large shipping vessel, the Batavia.
The baklava.
The baklava, yes. It was a large baklava sitting in the harbor here in Hamburg. I think we're just all hungry.
This
Maybe
sounds
so that the
greedy.
You're a
seal.
Chipotle Rewards member.
I knew so that the seal looked very similar to the crest. And
So,
the
yeah.
symbols were-
So imagine the crest is like a circle. I'm gonna draw this one up later for you guys. Imagine the crest is like a circle, and it's got a bunch of like crisscrossing lines that interconnect, kind of like you were looking at letters, right? That are like put over each other. This is like almost like a portion of that circle. It's not the full circle; it's just a portion of it. But that portion that you see matches so perfectly the seal that you have as a whole, almost like you're looking at a piece of it, right? That's under the symbol of.
Feels very like tongue-in-cheek, kind of.
Almost, right? Like it looks like it's supposed to be a symbol, but because of how worn it is and how like because you're here at the it's just at the right part of the ship where like maybe the paint splashed off the rest of it, but like it's hard to tell. But that one little part for sure matches the portion of that oh my gosh, not that
Partition?
shield, that portion of the symbol. I kept saying shield for whatever in my head, but it's not a shield.
That's fair.
And then the lettering goes over it, the Batavia. It's a 3-mast ship. At the moment, it looks there's no the gangplank is withdrawn, so there is no like access to the top of the ship. It's just moored and tied here at the edges of the dock.
Any activity around?
Make a perception check.
No.
Fireball on its way in.
21.
21. None that you can see at the moment. You don't see anybody on the deck. The lanterns that are up on the deck itself are not brightly lit. They look like it basically looks like no one's home kind of thing. There's like the lanterns that are on the sides of the ship are turned low. They're not off. They're just low. So that creates an interestingly large amount of shadows on this vessel.
Okay.
Most of the ships have lanterns, even if they are docked on the ports here at the port. They are going to have a decent amount of lights on. Even on the inside, you can see lights coming from like the captain's quarters or below decks or whatever. You can see that there's light, even if there's no activity. There's still light. This ship seems shadowed on purpose.
Okay, just going to kind of under my breath spies murmur just to check in with Solomon if it works or not.
Mm-hmm. You get nothing.
Okay. All right, Senna. Seems like there's not a lot of activity. I have a few options in my wheelhouse. Maybe later we can make ourselves invisible, but we cannot access the ship at this time. I can summon something to do a little bit of scouting for us, but that might take a moment. It's a 3-mast ship. It is very big. And we have 2 companions who are following some others, which could be anywhere from 10 minutes to multiple hours. So, I am a little too hasty for my own good. But do you have a way you want to approach this?
The ship definitely has some of the same semblance as the crest. So I would like to go and investigate it at some point. I'm sure there's something that will help us in there, but
do you have anything in your bag of tricks to get us on the ship?
let me see.
I don't know the distance from kind of dock to ship, or if there is, I'm going Sea of Thieves logic here, like a rope ladder or something that is just kind of always down, just in case somebody drunkenly goes overboard or anything like that. Just points of access.
Right.
Or potential access, I guess, is more appropriate.
Let's see here.
I can Misty Step, but that's only myself.
I
Heard.
do have invisibility.
I do, but anything I need to do before invisibility.
Yeah.
There's a decent amount of people around on the docks right now.
Yeah, we're not just like, oh, honey.
yeah. No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know that there's a decent amount of people that trying to get on the ship without the gangplank would be noticed and be viewed as suspicious at the very least. I don't think there's necessarily like Hamburg police that are like ready to like beep 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 beep. You know, they're not gonna like do anything like that. But you know, it would be noticed otherwise as something strange. So kind of posting up.
How loud is a gangplank going down? You know, is it like an extend or is it whoop, you know?
Yeah.
Because if it's shadowed seemingly on purpose, I don't want to cause a stir.
Right. Normally, a lot of times with the from what my memory, if my memory serves correctly, they kind of like bring it out and then they lower it down. It's usually there's like counter pulleys to kind of like they don't just like slap it down on the dock.
Okay.
It's kind of like they kind of just like bring it out and then like lower it down kind of thing.
All right. Cinna, this is my thought. I'm going to teleport myself onto the ship. I'm going to back up. We disguise ourselves as the red-coated individuals.
Right.
Just in case we belong there. And it seems like they carry an aura to not be messed with. I would then Misty Step myself. I don't even know if they use the term Misty Step anyway.
It's fine.
I will put the gangplank down. You enter. We go invisible. Draw the gangplank back, and we go as far down below decks that we can to where the brig would normally be. And we get them out, and we escape. If they are on there.
If they're on the ship.
If they're not, come back up, captain's quarters. We go through as much as we can. And if we can overhear a conversation about being braggadocio about that sort of thing, or just complaining that they have to feed anything that we can. But I don't think we're going to get another night. I think they're going to be gone in the morning.
If they were taken here, yeah.
A lot of assumptions. But they've
While we're on the ship.
Yeah.
While we're on the ship, there's a couple of things I can do in the case that we need to escape or hide. So let's just try to stick together.
All right.
Okay. Then I will go to a dark corner and drink my potion.
Beautiful. Definitely. Make me a stealth roll, please.
If the potion is in like a cool flask or something, does that get advantage? Before I saw him in his hands.
It's fine.
Hypothetically speaking, could I get advantage on this roll that I didn't fail? I just wanted to know.
It's fine. Whatever you do, failure is a part of the story.
What did you do?
I rolled a 4.
Beautiful. For a total of?
No, it was a 3 with a total of 4.
Oh.
A plus 1, yeah.
Beautiful. Okay.
Landing by standing out.
Yeah. I mean, as just less shadowy drinking, just more go to a wall and just imbibe from a flask that you have. So, that's fine. It's not like anybody's like, he's drinking on the dock. Oh no. Like, this is the dock. There's a bunch of drunken sailors everywhere. Like, you just didn't do it.
That would be really
casually,
funny, actually.
His body's changing right in front of me. I know it.
Shut up.
That's what you said the last time. Okay, so you go, you imbibe the potion. It may not be as smooth as when Esh changes. It's less of the, pulling things over and now he's got a button-up suit kind of situation. It's like your body melted. It's more like there's just like a little bit of like
Turn into a blob before I
yeah, like a button on the coat looks like a cyst at first. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's okay. It's all part of the transformation.
Cindy, you got an arm coming out of your face.
It just moves it around like Clayface from Batman, just like
scene in Harry Potter where Hermione actually drinks the apologies with the cat in it instead of the girl, and she's like, "Oh,
oh no."
So yeah, your body melts a little bit, but it's less actual melting. It's just like the shimmer in the air and a little bit of the morphing of your body. It just kind of like all happens at once.
Okay.
We will say that there is at least 2 drunken sailors that are stopped, and they just kind of like watch you for a minute, and you make eye contact with them in that moment of like, hi. And then they look down at what they were drinking, and they look at each other. And then they like both turn around, and one of them like throws the stein that he was carrying into the harbor, just like, nope, no more drinking for me. They turn around and walk away.
You ever fail a stealth so bad that you introduce sobriety?
And you know what? To me, that's a nat 20.
No. Hey.
Inspired them to stop
you feel
drinking.
so hard you start a men's journey in recovery."
I love that.
Very good.
Yeah.
I will bring Cinna close, kind of give him a, we gotta work on your smoothness.
Yeah,
alright?
sorry, that happened a lot quicker than I thought it was going to.
Oh, it's all right.
It was
You-
like as you were drinking it, it just like, oh.
You have an extra eyebrow. Let me just. All right. There we go. I put my hand on his shoulder, and will cast invisibility at a 3rd level. This is gonna be a little intricate moment because I just remembered I could do this. So we both go invisible as part of casting a spell that uses a spell slot. From my Cleosite wand, I can teleport 15 feet. So I'm just going to do that within 15 feet of getting onto the ship.
Nice.
So that I don't have to Misty Step. It's just kind of all one fluid motion that is just kind of like quickly outlined in that kind of tattooy aesthetic. And when I'm on the ship, then putting the gangplank down.
Okay. You're invisible, correct? You're both
Yes.
invisible.
Yep, both of this.
Make a you find the gangplank. It is like on the deck itself, so you have it's going to be rather cumbersome and heavy, so it's going to take a little bit to try and like wiggle this off and do it correctly. Go ahead and make me another
I would
stealth
like
check.
to remind you that I have powerful build because I am a Goliath.
This is true. So make me a strength roll and a stealth check for me. I'll do this quietly. I guess let's start with a perception roll, as you are on the deck of the ship that is full of shadows.
I have like one complaint that I do for everything, including Critical Role, and I know I'm doing a lot of bargaining, but I'm just obnoxious today. So
That's fine.
Strength has one skill. It is athletics. Just one thing. So if you're doing a strength thing, can it be athletics? Just
Yeah.
because okay.
What did I say? Did I say something?
You said a strength roll.
Oh, okay,
and I'm
okay.
like, because that reduces like proficiency and
Heard,
like any
heard,
advantages you get.
Yeah. No, athletics is fine.
Cool. Perception 12.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Athletics.
Okay, I have advantage. Also 12.
Okay. Beautiful.
Pretty good for a wizard.
Oh yeah.
Also a 12. All right. You find it and go ahead and give me a stealth check. Is the final one as you're able to dislodge it. It was just a median roll of 10, so you're good there. I mean, you do have advantage if you're invisible, so
Okay.
don't forget.
I was like,
Oh,
For those at home, we got a 9 and then a 10 on the advantage. That was
Let's go, gamers!
that is amazing. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful moment. Okay, Ash, you land yourself on this on the deck of the,
9/11.
it's true. You look around the shadows of this vessel. There's a lot of shadows on this vessel, but nobody guarding it. Makes sense. They have the gangplank up, so clearly that's got to mean something. You find the gangplank, release it from its easy bindings, and then try to just kind of wiggle it to the edge as best as you can. It's
a little obnoxious. It's just like I do on one side and then I go to the other side and then like look how lift it like
Yeah.
a penguin would.
Yeah, I mean, because it's just like a bunch of really long planks of wood, right? So it's kind of
Yeah.
heavy but it's
hefty.
It's hefty, yeah, for sure.
Weird.
It's gangly, if you will. You scoot it further. You scoot it further and further. You find the winch needed to kind of bring it to the edge. Senna, from the dock of the ship, from the docks, like you can hear the scuffling of the wood. You can see it like come over the edge, and you're like, this is going great. You look around. Make a perception check for me.
I'm gonna roll because
Like on my Spy's Murmur, I'm just like, if all else fails, this boat is haunted.
15.
15. Oh, beautiful. You're like looking up at the gangplank that is like slowly being lowered down. And then your eyes focus further up into the mast. And you can see like the really heavy sails that are like bound and wrapped up there. Your eyes swear, and you blink away for a second and then look again. Your eyes swear that you could see 2 glowing embers of eyes staring down from the folds of the mast up at the top. With that 15 perception, meets it, beats it, you see that there is an individual that is hanging upside down from the mast.
What the fuck,
Like
man?
almost like a sloth, just like kind of just like loosely grabbed on, but their head is like tilted down in this horrifying way that is catching the lights from the dock and causing their eyes to glint. And they're just like an owl sitting in a tree watching the gangplank move.
Ish. Ish.
How about
Ish.
no?
I'm just
Pause. There is something watching both from the mast. Wait, you said the eyes are glinting.
Mhm.
They're not looking at me. They're just looking at.
They're looking down at the gangplank that is moving.
Right. Whatever this is, can see what you're doing. Do you see it?
Ash, look, make a perception check with advantage. As you have been told where.
La la la. One's a 20. Unnatural. 20 and 10.
20 and 10. You do that horror movie, like, look directly up and above you, and you realize that you couldn't see before only because the clothes that they are wearing kind of match with the shadows and wrappings of the mast above you. But there is indeed an individual that is gripping the underside of the mast, and you see them just kind of let their arms go, and they're just holding with their legs, and they just bring their bodies kind of upside down like this, we'll say, right? Like wrap their legs wrapped up around the mast, and they just slowly lower their body down to where they're looking down at you or in your general direction, and you just see this head that kind of like cocks over to the side, just like owling itself as it like tries to look down and see anything that is down there. And that is where we're gonna switch over to Ezra and Dimitri.
Fuck, man.
There's an owl man ship. I'm so glad we picked the guys in jackets we don't like.
Yep.
Beautiful. Dimitri, you and Ezra go over to the alleyway. You peek down this alley between the bars. You see nobody down that direction.
Well, this is a bust quite immediately then. Where the fuck did they go?
I know they went down here, so there has to be something here.
Sniff! What do you smell, boy?
Perception.
Dimitri, track!
He just like points. Go ahead and make a perception check, please.
Both of us?
Okay.
Or just the sniffer?
Both. Dimitri will
13
have,
for me.
using your smell, if you're using smell, you'll get advantage.
13 for me.
Beautiful. Love that. We love that. Consistency.
A natural 1.
This is great. I
Plus
love these
0.
rolls.
1.
Just straight across.
Oh, wait, I have a question.
Yes,
I got an inspiration from the chat last session.
you
Is that
did.
still...
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna use that.
beautiful. It was
I
for
don't
your
wanna go-
final test, so this is a good.
I don't know
this
when
is-
that is, but
Could
it's
be
now as far as I'm concerned. Thank you. I don't remember who gave me inspiration, but thank you.
Yeah, I think it
Be
was
great. Imagine I
Cobra.
rolled another one, guys. Oh my god, I also rolled a 13. Go.
Consistency, we love it.
Let's fucking go, gamers.
This between taverns, alleyways, probably only like a person and a half wide. So what is that, like 5 feet maybe across? Like it's a very narrow alley. You can see that there is a gutter that where like the drainage, the water runs down. And as you guys enter into this space, Dimitri, you can smell iron. Not necessarily both literally like metal, like rusting metal, but also that other irony otherness that you are learning to attribute to these red cloaked individuals. You're on the right track. You go down this alley and then it kind of gives like a sharp, like a square like turn like this, right? So you have to go down and around.
Gonna shimmy my way through.
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, it's easy to move. You just don't have really a line of sight much, so you have to kind of peer around the side.
I'd like to roll to wiggle, please.
Roll to wiggle. Heard. Beautiful. There is a couple of barrels that you kind of have to like lift yourself up and over or kind of squeeze past and around. Like this is not a well-traveled alley. This is just the way these buildings were built. They're just like right next to each other. Probably breaks like, I don't know, 5 to 12 different fire codes. But
Did they have those yet?
no. Which is why
Has fire been invented yet?
fire has indeed been invented. You
when did that happen?
you get to various sections of wall that look worn, like stuff has like pushed past it, like or scraped past it, so like the paint's kind of worn off in some spots. Make for me another investigation roll as you're kind of looking to see where they could have gone, because there don't appear to be any doors.
Ooh.
Investigation, you say?
Mm-hmm.
16.
22.
Beautiful.
I rolled so well.
Hey.
Thank you. I know that nat one was just a mistake.
it was just testing you. Testing you.
Listen, this is a new dice set, all right? He's
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah. You get
Only bought him
to
Sunday.
you get him. You get to one of those sections where the paint seems rubbed. And Ezra, you track a strange seam in the wall. It looks like a foundational crack kind of thing, but this is in the wood and it's not like jagged or broken and splintered. It's just like a crack that goes all the way down. And you're just like, wait a minute. And then as you look, you can see that there is just barely perceptible, like this hairline square of a secret door.
Should we go in?
I mean, yeah. But we're gonna have to be real quiet about it. How do I open
Alright.
this?
We'll say that with that high roll, you see that there's like a small brick at one of the by your feet, kind of the up in that door that's kind of like lodged just enough out that it looks like if you kick it with your shoe, you could like kick it back into place.
All right. Let's be sneaky then.
All right. I'm gonna
right.
try and channel Khalil right now.
Yeah. You press
That's
the
the
brick.
loudest fucking door. Oh my god. Holy shit.
You press
You
the
got a
brick.
14 on stealth.
14 on stealth. Beautiful.
Let me get. Where's my stealth? Come on, baby. Oh, let's go, gamers. 28. One
Shoot.
would say it's a natural 20 plus 8.
One could say.
I disappear.
Okay.
How far back do I have to go to be blurry? Nope.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Coming
All
back.
right. Let me see here.
I am the Shadow and Raid Shadow Legend.
I put the shadow.
Oh, actually, it would be. Oh, beautiful. Okay.
While in there, I'm gonna focus. Well, my eyes are gonna focus on following Ezra, but I'm gonna be focusing on scent and sound. There you
Okay. Beautiful. The door goes into the wall, like back away from you, and then slides over to the side as this secret passage is revealed. There is a wooden staircase that goes down from here, and you are immediately hit with the scent of like mildew or mold, like wet wood, almost like wet rotting wood, almost.
go. So black mold, got it. I'm gonna spray this down with Moldex later.
Brought to you by Moldex.
Ezra takes one whiff and just slowly puts on his plague doctor mask.
Beautiful. Okay, you go down the set of stairs, and it is creaky and wobbly a little bit. Like you can feel the planks kind of give under your feet, as wet wood tends to do. But
Easily you snap.
Yeah, basically. But you go down this like somewhat spiral staircase of just a bit, and it brings you probably like another floor or two down, and you realize that you are in the foundations of most of the city.
How damp is it down here?
Pretty damp.
Open the spy's memory to Ash. It's damp.
And I'm gonna go, it is. In my pants.
Dampness
Oh my-
acquired, Professor. Dampness acquired.
My God. This is beautiful. Okay, yeah, the damp thing happens, we'll say, as you had just finished watching Senna melt themselves into another person. Timeline-wise, that's what we're about.
Gotcha.
It's just like, wow, I'm seeing some crazy shit in these caves. You would not believe the shit I'm looking at right now.
Beautiful. You, at the bottom of the staircase, you're basically in what appears to be like a storm drain or sewer system that is below the city. It is not necessarily like sewage. It's just like this is where the water runs when it rains, and it like feeds it out into the sea. Probably at higher
Under the sea.
like there's just enough water to where it goes like just above your ankles. This is at high tide, and it just looks like there's just water that kind of goes in all directions. So you imagine low tide.
It's not shit water, right?
No, it's just like drainage water.
Okay.
There's probably some piss in there, though. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, but it's not like sewage.
Yeah, no, it's not like actual sewage. At least not here. We'll say you can go left or right.
Well,
Okay, I'm gonna see if which way the iron smell is coming from more.
I'm gonna say because of the amount of smells down here, you won't have advantage, but you can definitely make it a straight roll because it is overpowering.
Yeah, I believe that. Okay, yeah, no, I rolled a 2.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's
That's a lot.
Can I try to? So
you know what?
Yeah.
Dreamy sent me inspiration.
Oh yeah!
Do it again.
Come on,
She
Dreamy.
never said I didn't do nothing for you, and then she slapped you.
I called you a hoe.
Okay, I rolled a 15. What was it again? What kind of roll?
Perception, I think.
Perception.
Yeah.
Okay, so 17.
Let's go.
Okay.
Left or
All
right?
You like shake. You take that first whiff, and it's just pungent. And then you're like, okay, no, focus, and you think of your brother, and you're like, you need to focus. You need to like get it together, and
Remember
you take
what your brother smells like.
and you retask yourself and do it again. And this time you close your eyes and you really try and parse the different scents that you are picking up, and you go almost like a list in your head. You're like, do. Wait, there it is. Like you get so many other things. I know I'm gonna make you sneeze here in a minute. At this rate,
Yeah, I know.
You get that same irony scent, and it points off to the. Let's see. This would be to the left, which kind of leads you back under the way you came. Kind of back towards the harbor instead of into the city. Well, yeah. Okay.
We follow your nose.
You follow the nose, and you kind of go around a couple of bends, and then you see that there is because it is. By the way, do you guys have dark vision? Because it is dark in here.
I believe I do.
60 feet.
Okay, beautiful. So you guys can see in this dark underground space, and you see that up ahead there is light.
Aaron, 60 feet, and then pull out the necklace. 120.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Fucking.
I only got 60. The fuck you get that drip from?
Mom.
Drip of dark vision.
Mom vision. He's got the chancla vision on the back of the head now.
Chancla vision. He can hear that thing coming from miles away.
You see that there's lights that are coming down from around the corner, and you can hear whispering voices. Low tones. Maybe not whispering. Low tones.
I think we might have found something. It's damp. We hear whispering. That's the spies murmur.
Ash, this is happening about the same time that you start to look up.
Can I can sneak very well. I'm quite sneaky. Can I try to sneak and like sneak around and try to discreetly like maybe look around a corner and see who's whispering and what?
Sure. Make a stealth check for me.
I'm gonna stay still, but keep an eye on her, just in case.
Yeah, because there is liquid that's up to your, just like in the middle of your shin. Like it's hard to walk and be quiet. So no advantage, but you can definitely.
And I rolled a dirty 20.
Very nice. Like freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator, you know, you're just swamp walking like so quietly, moving your feet, just barely bringing a ripple to the surface of the water.
I'm walking on water. It's, you know.
That's what it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm just goaded like that.
I'm walking on sunshine.
You peek.
I'm walking on piss.
Jesus. I love you guys. You peek around the corner.
Don't ever put us in a sewer system again.
I can't wait for that to be clipped and come back to haunt me.
You see into a larger room. this room has probably about 10 individuals that are standing on wood planks kind of above you. You're looking, there's like, there's an open grate that leads into this room, and there's like stairs on either side of this opening, and it brings up, god damn. I should never look at chat. There's stairs that go up onto the wood planks. It's amazing. We'll go up onto like a wood boardwalk, basically. You see about 6 of them are people in red coats. You also see Lord Decken down here. You also see, you start to see, you see about 2 others that are, they look or like ordinary people. They don't necessarily have like any sort of anything on them that would tell you like station or anything. They don't look like they're poor folk, but they don't necessarily look wealthy either. They're just kind of like middle class-ish individuals. They all are facing 2 people. One of them stands, the one that's in the furthest in the back stands about 7 feet tall and is currently cloaked. Has this big, heavy, woolen, like almost like a short cape that kind of goes around. You can see that there are some metallic. Hold on, let me see here. There are some metallic like boots. Their face is covered in shadow. All you can see is like maybe just the lower lip and below. This pointed chin. In front of them, a noble, definitely. Dressed very nicely. His cloak, he also has a cloak on, but his hood is back. And he seems to be appraising like something between him, Lord Decken, and the rest that are gathered there. And then as some of the redcoats shift and move,
shit.
Beautiful. You see that there are 4 individuals that are on their knees.
Do I recognize any of these individuals?
One of them,
Fuck.
Solomon.
It's oh.
Oh god.
Not only, Ash, did I find Decken, but I found our boy.
Gonna have to call you back.
I found an owl.
in this exact moment, outside of the sewer, on the deck of the ship, Ash, you were looking up at this individual that is clinging from the bottom, like their legs are like wrapped around the T part of the mast, and they're just staring down at you like this. If I was upside down right now, they're staring down at you or in your general direction, trying to see what it is. This individual looks gaunt. Their movements remind you of like an owl or some sort of bird that is just like peering down. And every so often as they move, their eyes will catch the light and they glint this amber orange.
Uh-oh.
Are they wearing a red coat?
No.
Didn't think so. Then it'd be like falling. That'd be weird. Interesting.
You hear then you hear Ezra's message. I found our boy.
But not. What about the other one?
You're muted.
I was just thinking, I was like, I did it. Do I get to go back to an A?
Have you seen Alaric? I don't remember. Did you ever see Dimitri's brother?
He did come to the circus.
Came to the circus.
Oh, that is true. We did
Okay,
see
so
because
then-
Solomon went up and said hi.
Oh, that's true. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's true. We did see them.
Ezra, you see not only Solomon, but you also see Dimitri's younger brother. All 4 of them were on their knees, looking like they were being presented to whoever these 2 individuals are.
I don't know. They're being humanly trafficked. They're being non-humanely trafficked.
All right.
Um,
Senna,
Yes.
does everybody hear Ezra's message through the thing,
I
or is
guess
it just a direct?
that depends on if Ezra is sending it to everybody or just Esh.
Honestly, I'm probably just sending it straight to Ash.
Okay. Senna,
Yes.
Ezra has found our two counterparts,
Oh.
and we are in a moment that is very delicate. We are invisible for an hour. We can continue with the investigation of this ship, which may lead to something bigger if all of these things are connected. Or we can abandon ship. And I'll chuckle to myself, like I'm just such a clever little circus boy.
Yes, it was good.
And
Yes.
we can go. But I think this individual above us is going to ring an alarm because I did something very weird. So if we want to stay on the ship, I'm going to have to probably pull a big move.
We neutralize it.
What'd you say?
We neutralize it.
We can neutralize him, or I can become
What can you do?
invisible and look like that red-coated individual, like I was purposefully sneaky, as they all are, assuming that they are on the same side. Now, this is what our research tells us, but I could be wrong, or it could not matter.
Hmm.
3 options.
I say we neutralize this creature and then go meet up with your students.
How do we get him down? He doesn't seem...
I can handle it.
Okay.
You go
Okay.
ahead.
No, that is my trust in my friend.
What are you gonna do, Senna?
When I bring him down, my invisibility will end.
Yes.
But I will look like a redcoat.
Yes.
Okay, let's try this.
You see the individual stand upside down on the mast.
Kill it with fire. Immediately.
It's like
Immediately no.
it's still looking, but it like takes itself. It looks like you start to kind of feel this odd vertigo as you are suddenly like, wait, am I actually upside down? Because you were realizing that he unwraps his legs from the mast and like using his hands and then feet, kind of Spider-Man's, and then stands upside down on the mast and starts walking towards the like very carefully, like one step, then another step, still looking down, trying to see, because he failed his perception check. Goes and is like walking slowly over to the main mast that goes downwards. What are you gonna
Where
do?
do you want me to place him?
What are my options?
Anywhere you want. Anywhere I can see.
That's
I would say Russia.
Okay. Poof, vortex warp. That works, right?
Give it the option. I'd like to say space.
Anywhere I can see within 90 feet.
Under the sea.
Yeah.
See if
That
this
is-
bitch can
that is-
swim.
That is my answer.
On the surface of the water. Is that where we want him?
Yes.
Deep.
If you can go further down, depending on the clarity of the water. You see,
I
in the
can-
1800s, like, pollution hasn't been as bad, Aaron. So you have a little bit of water clarity.
He's not
I can
wrong.
do that. I can put
He's
him in the
not
water.
wrong.
I can put him
It is also
into the
nighttime.
water.
So it's dark.
The moonlight.
I can absolutely put him
Right.
underwater. That is a thing.
What size moon
What
do we
spell
have
are you
tonight?
using?
It's called Vortex Warp. And
Oh, so it is
our
Vortex
favorite-
Warp. God damn! If there is one spell that like goes through this entire campaign so far, it has been Vortex
Yeah,
Warp.
It's true. MVP. I would like to dual cast or simultaneously cast something upon that.
Okay.
If I may. Just a cool team up moment.
Yep.
I think would be really good as I'm being kind of explained this. I'm going to cast Summon Beast, which is kind of like one of the new kind of 2024 things. You can choose like land, air, or sea, and you never get to do sea. So I am going to conjure a, we'll say
Shark.
a shark. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking like what kind of shark is like more inland. It's, obviously not going to be a great white. That wouldn't really make sense. People are probably not going to see it. But the intention is to drag it down and drown this person.
Oh my god.
And they're going to be in the water for a bit, so probably multiple attempts. The Sea of Thieves is happening, is what I'm going for.
Oh my fucking god. Okay, so simultaneously, I
Is
need.
it old enough where the Meg can still be megging?
Yeah. Can we have
Can you
that?
summon a megalodon?
Can we do that?
Okay, first things
By the way,
first.
this is part of an illusion wizard. It is a spectral version. What I think that means in water, it's nearly invisible because of just all the refracting going on.
It
Oh
just
my god.
shimmers.
Yeah,
That's I think that's
truly
fucking
terrifying.
worse. Because
no, it is.
being
I
in the
was really
water
looking at
knowing
it.
there's a shark is bad enough. Being in the water not seeing a full version of the shark but knowing but having it still get you is a whole other thing. Okay, so first things first, Vortex Warp needs to be willing or it needs to make a save, correct?
Correct.
So what's the save?
16
On
Constitution.
it's a con save. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
If you're wondering, I did Google, are there sharks in the German Baltic Sea? And
Baltic
there are actually 18 species of shark. The two most popular, whale and hammerheads.
Hammerheads for
Hammerheads.
sure. Hammerheads.
Yes.
Hammerhead.
So-
What the fuck?
Ash just got a really cool mascot.
Holy shit.
I would
I'm
like a
loving this
German
already.
hammerhead shark, please.
I honestly wasn't expecting that to be yes to that question.
Not 18 versions and not the hammerhead.
Have you ever
Holy
seen Street Sharks? That's what's happening.
Yeah,
List
literally.
of fish in Germany. All right, here we go.
It rolled an 11. This
Oh.
individual is walking. How do describe to me color me the picture here as you are ripping him from space.
Senna is going to use magic inspired by Laertes. That is within a circular device that he's been carrying around with him, and using different things. You see I guess you would see a laser that like flips out of the device, points at the creature, and once Senna can see that target, presses the button, and the laser shoots out. Upon touching this thing, the coordination that Senna has set for the ocean, so the creature
Yeah.
I guess it would implode on itself, get sucked back into this device, and then shot back out again to the destination that he's choosing in the water where the shark's at.
Just fucking invented a portal gun.
It's 90 feet, so I can do from where he's at to
to you to
as
like
far into
90
the
feet.
water. Yeah.
Hey, also 90
That
feet.
90 feet
So
will go. Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You see this individual had just reached the mast and upside down was like placing a hand, and you watch his hand just kind of go out and spread around, like not completely around the mast, but it just kind of grabs onto it in a way that no human could grasp a mast and stay up. If it wasn't already for the fact that he's fucking upside down, grabs onto it and just kind of like starts to like crawl predatorially down the mast, and you're like, nope. Shoot him off the mast, and then Esh, you run over to the side of the ship and you see where he is. You see the little firing of the little orb that goes into the water, and you focus your energies, and what horror awaits this individual?
Found a better
I'm-
option. Basking sharks are also native to the
Yeah.
North Sea.
I don't know what
I don't know
basket
if you
shark
know what
is.
those fuckers look like, but they're terrifying.
We'll
I
do
hate
an.
them.
Hey, it's my conjuration. Basking hammerhead shark.
Oh no, not a
That
chimera shark
mouth is
is
wide.
So what I
Right.
do is I go to the side of the ship and do close up magic. Wand is there, and so there's a laser that goes up and then kind of vortex warps them down. Hold on, I just got a picture of the shark. I need to know.
Just swallow him whole. And
Oh
then
my
dive.
god, I have seen that. That is so terrifying for sure.
You're standing on a boat.
This guy's going down.
And you just all of a sudden you see and you're in the water, and all you see is oh, coming from the depths.
And the thing is, it's not even fully there because it's spectral.
It's a surprise birthday party of a shark.
I just
Like,
I feel
ah!
like you should roll for whether or not he has a fucking heart attack.
Honestly, kind of. So the laser goes from the person, and it's almost like this imperceptible
Right.
laser, but I know Cinna, and so I'm going to raise the wand up, and it is going to cut that laser in half. And when it hits the water, it kind of creates the almost like a laser printer, right? Like how it just goes like very, very quickly,
Yeah.
creating the thing. And imagine that in accordance to the shimmering moonlight in a refractory space, right? So it is underneath this guy that it's hard to open your eyes in the water because it's very, very blurry.
His name is
And it's-
Reynald.
Reynald, not for long. And so it's one of those things of like you look and maybe there's something, you look again and you start to like see more and more. And to kind of use the basking shark, it is that he doesn't see it beneath him as much as he eventually sees it around him. Just totally. You said he was gaunt, and these sharks can
Yeah.
be absolutely huge, and I get like a lot of good
Image-
size
imagery.
with the summon beast. So it's like and because it's spectral, he sees it around him, but he sees through it as well. But it is the water shouldn't be blurry like that. It shouldn't be. There is a claustrophobia that such an open space should not incur, and I would like to use its attack to grapple
Bless you.
and not move backwards because we all know sharks can't do that. So it will just do like a nice turn downward. And if it escapes at any time, it exists purposefully to drown this man.
Reynald had been given one task.
And he did it great, to be fair.
Guard the
He did.
ship.
Well, not that part.
He somehow got eaten by a basking shark.
He
A
saw
plankton eating shark.
he saw the boardwalk move. That's not supposed to happen.
Okay, well,
But he couldn't see what it was. He peers down at the deck of the ship. No, this is not a trick of his eyes. The Lord had blessed him with such visions. He should be able to see. What is that?
It moved again. He stands on the mast, walks down slowly. Now, this would be better to be seen from the ground. He considered for a moment calling the master. Now, best to be sure before he bothered him. He was not going to get yelled at again. He starts to clamber down the side of the mast. And that's when his body is torn from him. In a quick succession of moments, he was breathing and then drowning, finding himself submerged in the cold embrace of the sea of the harbor of Hamburg. For a moment, he struggles trying to right himself up from down, and in the blurred vision, he can see the refraction of the moon above. No, that is up. He starts to swim up, but then he hears around him the swirling of the water and looks down in time to, can't see, but something sucks him down further and then closes up around him. And his
That's
panic
insane.
and his panic sets in. And as the last of the air starts to gut out of his lungs as he tries to scream, one final thought. Master, help! Ezra, you watch as the individuals are talking back and forth. Just low enough for it to be hard to hear, and you kind of strain yourself forward, trying to wonder what it is that they are saying, when the tall individual in the back with the pointed chin, who you can barely see, raises a hand and cocks his head to the side. And you can see the straight-lipped mouth snarl just a little and reveal a row of sharpened teeth.
My God, it's a land shark.
And that's where we're going to end for tonight.
Crap.
Can't believe basking shark was not on my bingo card for this session.
Well, I can say for a fact neither was it on mine.
Yeah, no, I googled it because I was like, are there sharks that far north? 'Cause it's cold up there. And then we were just looking at the Baltic, and I was like, wait a minute, Hamburg's not near the Baltic, it's near the North Sea. And I fallen down a rabbit hole of what sharks are in the North Sea, and
The shark hole.
they are not typically associated with the North Sea. There is always a potential for sightings of great white sharks.
Yeah.
Nowhere is safe.
Well, and that's the thing, like,
Nowhere.
nowhere is safe. No, because freaking a lot of great white sightings happen up around Maine. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's north, right? It's not just
Because it was most of this article was like, yeah, most of the sharks that are native to that area are like the Greenland shark and basking sharks, which don't hurt humans. They feed off
Right.
of plankton. And then there's just a great white sometimes. Sometimes he's there. We don't know what he's doing up there.
But they're there. They're just like, yo, what's up? So yeah, I mean, plus, you know, Esh has seen sharks before, so you can just summon whatever it is. It's a spectral shark. So yeah, that was fucking wild. Never did I expect that interaction to go down that way. Very well done, Senna.
Good
and Esh.
team up. Good team up.
That was fucking scary. I will have
That was
nightmares
so
now
weird.
tonight.
That Owlman was so insanely menacing, and to just be kind of bitch slapped into the ocean and swallowed by a basking shark is the craziest way to go.
I mean, he was just a young lad, but that's fine.
Oh.
No.
How old was this kid?
Reynald is
Oh.
hard to say.
Just a little guy.
He's just a little guy. But yeah, all right,
Dead
cool.
guy now.
Now he's dead.
Now he's shark food, shark bait.
Shark
Ooh
bait,
ha ha.
ooh ha. Oh,
Hey. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with us tonight. Truly spectacular as always. We will see you next Tuesday for some epilogues, hopefully. Then we will see. Graham is here. Graham, are you guys doing Vampire next Wednesday?
I believe they were doing Vampire the Masquerade set in Savannah, Georgia. Yep. All right, Savannah, Georgia it is. We'll see you guys there on Wednesday. Tune in Thursday for whatever dramatic bullshit happens right after this. Guys, I'm sure nothing terrible could possibly happen. And then Friday, we will return to a galaxy far, far away with our friends from Top Down Tabletop and Marquee Gaming for another episode of Star Wars 5e. So until then, stay fey, be brave. The safe word is mango, bunny spread, and now what's the one that we just added? Something about piss? I don't know.
Walking on piss.
Walking on piss. I was gonna say download Raid Shadow Legends, but that works too.
It's about the same. It's about the same. All right, have a good night, guys. Bye.
Sponsored by Chipotle.